Hello, friends. Matt here. And not too long ago, I was perusing randiscgolf.com. He's a cool guy. He's got a really good website and he is pretty funny on Twitter, too. And he had these wild disc great whites on sale in his clearance section for $8. And if you're not familiar, Wild Disc is a recently defunct disc golf brand that was made by MVP from their single shot molds. I think some of them are streamlined, some of them might be similar to some of the mint discs that they also make. This one came in with the numbers of 12, 5, negative 1, 3, which for a forehand guy, those are some appealing digits right there, and had a really cool stamp. I don't know how well you can see that in the glare with the big shark jumping out of the water and two-color stamp. And the numbers are the exact same as another disc that is actually the world record holder for distance, and that is the Innova Boss. And I also recently got a Boss, funny enough, with a very similar color scheme for the stamp from when my buddy and I played in the USDGC qualifier. And with numbers this similar, profile. Let's check out this profile. The Boss may be like ever so slightly blunter, but they are very, very close. I wanted to see if it could stack up to an all-time classic disc like that, and if it did, how close they were. So I took them out to the field and to a course to check them out. I do think the plastic is gorgeous. Get a little of all those sparkles in there and see how they fly. See what we think. All right, so starting off in the field, I'm going to do kind of a standard flattish smash type drive. Boss rides out there really far. It was like 440. Great glide. Gonna try the same shot with the Great White. Seeing just a touch of that turn. Then the fade is slightly dumpier and it's about 15 feet shorter, but still very nice long straight drive. Gonna do kind of a higher, slightly slower flex on this one. And the Boss rides out. It goes almost as far as the first shot, even though the speed was less, but it dives out a little bit sooner because of the height. Great White doing the similar line with that force over. It holds it a touch longer, actually, but then it fights out pretty sharply, and these were almost on top of each other. So this next one is kind of a power flex in between the two where I'm throwing it hard but also flexing it a bit on purpose. The Boss was a smash. It goes out there really, really nicely. A touch further than the first one, about 455. I think I could push these further if I had some more time to work with them. Very similar line with the Great White. Really good glide out of that disc. The only difference is I think the fade is a little bit more abrupt, so it's been consistently a touch shorter. So headed out to the course at Deerfield. This is hole 4. Really nice shot there with the Boss. It hits a late tree, but very easy up and down for the par on that one. And with the Great White, it threads that needle. It looked like it was going to dive out right here, but it leveled out, skipped nicely, and was about 12 feet from the basket on the left side of the OB. If you played that hole, you know it's not a fun one to miss. So over on 18, the Boss was a bomb on this one. It actually skipped over the little OB there at the end and was just outside of circle 2, but kind of not long, but kind of right and just short of the basket. Great White was a gorgeous throw. I think it would have been a similar distance, but it clips that fort tree there and knocks it down. So I gotta say, for raw distance, the Boss is incredibly hard to beat. It was just edging out the Great White basically every time. The one exception was on hole 4 where it hit that tree. But otherwise, even on the ones where the Great White held the line, flew perfectly, everything great, the Boss beat it by 10 to 20 feet. Now, that's not to say this is not a great disc. It went really far, really controllable. I could pump it over on a few different lines. Those high flexing anhydrous I like to throw, and lower, more penetrating style shots. But I will say, overall, the Boss is the Boss for a reason. It can absolutely crush. But the Great White is a great solution to that slot as well. It feels really good. I think it might actually beat in to be a longer and slightly less stable disc than the Boss does. If you've ever thrown a Boss, they beat in really, really slow, and sometimes they lose a little bit of fade, but they don't really change in their torque resistance that much until they get really thrashed. I think this one might beat into more like a 12.5 -2.2 eventually and become like a real bomber type disc, but right now they're pretty darn close. So thank you for watching. If you're in the market for a budget distance driver that you can really throw as hard as you feel like, check out randisc.com. Randy does a really good job and still has some of those on sale. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.